Starting in just a few minutes. System. I'm Tom Ellis with YO Radio. Tonight we'll hear from one of the two candidates vying for a spot on the general election ballot. Joining me on the panel are Ann Jans from the Rocket Miter, Katie Glenmeyer from the Sweetwater Now, and David Martin from the Green River Star. On the stage is candidate John Grossnickle. Candidate Delbert Gray was not able to join us this evening. Candidate Grossnickle will be answering questions from this panel, but audience questions will be considered if time allows. Turning questions at the back of the room, the forum will start with an opening statement. Mr. Grossnickle, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, and I want to thank everybody for coming to the Republican Forum for Sheriff. My name is John Grossnickle, and I am honored to be bidding for the Republican candidacy for the office of Sheriff of Sweetwater County. I'm a lifelong resident of the state of Wyoming. I am currently in my 22nd year of law enforcement career. I attended Chadron State College and studied criminal justice with an emphasis in law enforcement, and ultimately graduated with my Bachelor of Arts degree. While at Chadron, I participated in an internship with the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigation Southeast Enforcement Team, along with an internship with the Chadron Police Department and a comparative justice study program in London, England. I returned to college in 2012 and completed my master's degree in criminal justice, law enforcement administration from Columbia College. I started my law enforcement career with the Rock Springs Police Department in 1996 as a patrol officer. After a year and a half, I applied and was hired by the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office, where I have been continuously employed for over 21 years. I started off as a patrol deputy and also worked in court security. I tested and was promoted to the rank of detective. A few years later, I successfully was tested and promoted to the rank of sergeant, where I supervised court security, detectives, and patrol. Again, I later tested and was promoted to the rank of lieutenant in the operations section, where I currently hold that position. During my 21 years at the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office, I have taken great pride knowing that I have worked to help to better the community of Sweetwater County. I have observed the greatness of the citizens of this county. I have also implemented many programs and have bettered Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office. I was a part of establishing the first structured field training program, which set the foundation for the current training program at the Sheriff's Office. I also conducted the first in-house threat and vulnerability assessments for the courthouses that catapulted the success of the current court security program. Along the way, many tasks have been asked of me to create and complete, such as the current body camera program and policy, the current canine program and policy, and the upgrade of technology used on the Sheriff's Office boat are just a few. All the while, the ultimate goal was to make the Sheriff's Office better in order to provide the citizens of Sweetwater County the best law enforcement service possible. As your sheriff, I will continue with my past goals of making Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office the very best law enforcement agency in Wyoming, if not the United States. This will be done by building community relationships, instilling community involvement and input, ensuring the safety of our youth in and out of schools, supporting the gun rights of all law-abiding citizens, committing to work with all organizations within the community for a common goal, ensure the best education and training for all employees, and improve minimum standards for initial employment. With all these areas addressed, I assure you that the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office will be an extension of the people. The Sheriff's Office will have your trust and provide an ownership for citizens within the community that has never been developed within Sweetwater County. Thank you.
We will now move on to the question portion of the forum. You will be allowed a 90-second response to each question. Where in the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Department do you see a need for improvement?
Like I said in my opening statement, I believe it's with the community relations, community-oriented policing. Law enforcement is an extension of the people. I would like to have town hall meetings that would involve the citizens so we could discuss issues within their own neighborhoods and communities. With that ownership, we would come to a positive solution to try to curb those issues that the citizens see within their neighborhoods. So again, it would be with the communication with the citizen and being available for the citizen.
Thank you. What about your background qualifies you to be sheriff?
As I said in my opening, I have 22 years law enforcement experience, and prior to that, I attended Chadron State College, went through the 2 internship programs and the comparative justice study program. I worked my way through the sheriff's office. I maintained employment there for over 21 years. I did go back in 2012 to obtain my master's degree in administration, and I've gone through the ranks and earned every position that I've been given. I've touched, other than the detention facility, every aspect of the operations side as far as work experience.
Okay. When building a budget for the sheriff's office, what are your funding priorities?
First and foremost, obviously it's going to be the employees. We're going to have the funding for our employees. Whether as a department head we like it or not, we're given a budget and we have to live through that budget like we would within our house. After the employees, we need to look at new technology that will better implement what I was speaking about, being able to touch the community in places and areas that had never been done before. I was a big proponent of the body cameras, and actually the current technology that's there with the point of view was something that I really had a pinpoint for. That way we could see what was going on. It made our deputies more professional. There was a safety feeling of the community now that we've had them. It's been a very good program. So I think the technology that's there, that's based by those. There are other programs that I will implement that I would talk about once I would take office, that would also involve the community and bring them into that aspect of being able to help and not have that division that's between citizens and the department. I didn't hear the first. I don't think.
Yes. Of the recent items removed because of budget cuts, which should have priority as the economy improves and additional funding is available?
Again, I like to say that everybody has a dog in the fight and everybody wants their dog to win. So being able to staff the county properly, the outlying communities that request law enforcement would be one of my priorities. The reason I would do that is to assist those communities, but it also assists where the majority of the calls are taken. That way we don't have to pull deputies from areas where we have those calls. Secondly, we need to maintain proper equipment. That's vital for somebody that has 4 wheels for their office. So we need to maintain that aspect of it also. Another one is the ability to have, if we're not able to have pay increase, but we need to have overtime budget available. Law enforcement does not get paid a lot. I'm sure you're all aware of that. But a lot of these people do rely on overtime budget to help supplement the income for their families, so they're able to live. So those would be the top 3 right there.
Thank you. How would you work to keep relations between the Sheriff's Department and the County Commission smooth?
Again, I'll go back to the last statement I said. Everybody has a dog in the fight and wants their dog to win. However, there has to be compromise. If there's not compromise, nobody wins. And when nobody wins in government, the ones that suffer are the citizens. So with compromise, bringing to the table educated information and being able to fight your fight in a diplomatic manner.
Thank you. What is the biggest need of the sheriff's department now, and what would you do to fill that need?
Biggest need right now is to fill empty positions. We need to be able to get out of the old way of recruiting law enforcement and look at new trends that are in everyday life as far as other organizations recruit people. We have to get away from college and military only and look at how the Starbucks, the Walmarts, all the other corporations are recruiting good employees. So that's number one, is to fill the vacancies that are there.
Thank you. Do you think the sheriff's office is transparent with the Sweetwater County residents? If not, what do you think could be done to improve that transparency?
The transparency is there, but I still believe not only in Sweetwater County but around the nation there's a division between law enforcement and the community, and that's my big point, is to bring that relationship together by being a part of the community, going out and having the town hall meetings, having the deputies go in and speak to business owners, speak to the outlying communities. Once we have that relationship and that trust, and then the citizens can see that, yes, that transparency is there.
Thank you. In one of your previous answers, you mentioned outlying areas for law enforcement. What are your plans for providing law enforcement in those outlying areas of the county?
Again, we'd have to sit back and look at what the budget looks like. The outlying communities, Sutter, Granger, those are incorporated communities, so it would be sitting down with those governments out there and coming to another compromise to see if we can come together to fund the ability to have those deputies, those resident deputies. When I first started, there was, I believe we even had one in McKinnon at the time when I started. Maybe he had just quit, but there was at least 3 when I started. Farson, Sutter, and Granger. And just because of cost effectiveness, those have gone away. But again, I think if you sit down and look at it, taking a deputy from the area where the majority of the calls come from to go 70 miles to take a call in Sutter, that cost effectiveness, if we can come to a compromise with those outlying communities, we'd be able to staff a deputy out there.
Thank you. At this time, we haven't received any questions from the audience. If there is anybody that does have a question, there's one over here.
No, we are able to work together. The sheriff's office is still functioning properly. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Yes.
Are there other questions from the audience? If not, then we will just proceed to the closing statements. Mr. Grossnickle, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who took the time to attend the forum again and for all the pertinent questions that were asked. Thank you. There's been a distinct trend in a division between the citizens and law enforcement, not only in Sweetwater County, but nationwide. As I have said before, law enforcement is an extension of the people. I will focus on building better community relationships by instilling community involvement and input during town hall meetings and ask the citizen what the issues are within their neighborhoods and communities. The citizen will assist the sheriff's office to identify these issues and then join as a working partner with the sheriff's office to come to a positive solution. This will bring the citizen into the problem-solving spectrum and increase ownership and build a relationship between the citizen and the sheriff's office in regard to proactive policing. I will encourage the youth within our community and make sure that they are safe in and out of the school setting. This will be accomplished by working together and educating all the entities that are tasked with the growth of our children in terms of the dangers that are lurking to hurt them. along with pushing forward to make our schools as safe as other government facilities. If children do not have basic needs, including safety, then they cannot learn and dream. If a parent constantly worries about their child's safety, then the parent becomes inefficient in everyday life. This cannot continue to plague our community. I will continue to support the gun rights of all law-abiding citizens. By restricting firearms, it only limits the law-abiding citizen from having that firearm. The criminal does not care, and they will, without question, obtain those firearms. I will ensure the best education and training for all the employees. This will change the culture of the Sheriff's Office and make those within the agency even more professional. I will make the mental health of every deputy a priority so that the negative emotions that are a result of this job are not reflected upon the citizens. By improving the minimum standards for initial employment, I will ensure that the Sheriff's Office continues to employ the best candidate that fits within the mission and culture of the agency. By looking past outdated recruiting tactics used by law enforcement and implementing the new strategies used by all organizations within the job market, the Sheriff's Office can obtain larger candidate pools, thus resulting in the best employees for the organization. With my years of experience at the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office and my education, I understand how important community involvement and community policing are for Sweetwater County. By implementing all the key points within my platform, I understand the direction that law enforcement needs to head and certainly grasp the importance of community-based law enforcement, along with new methods and technology gripping the forefront of the criminal justice world. By combining these areas, the Sweetwater County Sheriff's Office will be leading the race in terms of law enforcement within the state of Wyoming and ultimately the country. I would appreciate your vote on August 21st. Thank you.
This concludes tonight's forum. Thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening. But please remember to vote on August 21st, the primary election. Thank you and good night.